All right, here's a few news articles. Ross Ulbricht was the Dread Pirate Roberts at Silk Road or Silk Road 2, one of the illegal marketplaces that sold illegal things for Bitcoin. And he got caught about 10 blocks from where I'm sitting right now in San Francisco at the public library and given a life sentence. And he's been in prison with a life sentence, but now he has been drawing stuff, and now he has created an NFT and sold it for $6 million. So apparently he's got $6 million. What he's going to do with it from inside prison, I don't know, but maybe he'll pay lawyers. He does have a big campaign to try to get out of prison, and maybe the $6 million will help him with that. This is the first professional ransomware gang to use Rust. They have affiliates and all that. They're starting to write malware in Rust. It's gradually becoming more and more common and more professional malware. So Rust is cool. I've been teaching Rust a bit in these classes. It's a very interesting language, and it solves almost all the memory corruption problems, maybe all the memory corruption problems of C. So this one really surprised me, and I looked into this for a while. If you use a Mac, it creates these files called ds_store, which just contain sort of a directory of the current folder. So if you forget and leave these on your page when you upload it to a server, I never thought of them as a big security flaw. They don't reveal the contents of a file. All they reveal is the names of files in a folder, but that's a little bit of an information flaw. You can see files in a folder that's not supposed to be listable by directory list. You typically turn that off in Apache, and it's off by default these days, I think. So the point is, this by itself is not a major vulnerability. The only way it could let people take over your site, which is apparently what happened to Microsoft Vancouver, is if there is sensitive information in a file name, or if you have insecure direct object access. There is a file on there that contains secrets that is not actually protected by permissions. You're just hoping nobody will find it. So the ability to do a directory and see a list of the names is enough for them to navigate to that file and see it. And I guess that must be what they did. So they not only uploaded this file, which they shouldn't really upload, they also uploaded some other file that was not even supposed to be public at all and put it on a web server. So then somebody was able to take over Microsoft Vancouver this way. This is presented in a matter-of-fact way. It seems really important to me. There's a new 5G C-band broadband service coming out from AT&T, and apparently it interferes with the altimeters in airplanes. So they won't be able to use the altimeter. The altimeter will not give them accurate information. That seems like a serious safety flaw to me. And they're going to, so the FAA is going to prevent people landing while this service is turned on or something. It sounds crazy. So hopefully they'll come up with some resolution for this. It sounds dangerous to me and unwise. Cloudflare and Mandiant and some other companies have gotten together to form some kind of instant response cyber insurance product. Announced today, they say insurance premiums have been going up, which I can certainly imagine because a lot of people buy insurance to protect against ransomware, and everybody's getting hit by ransomware right and left, and they're having to pay out right and left. So I would imagine the insurance companies are raising the rates because they're probably losing money paying all those ransoms. And so Cloudflare is going to jump in, teaming up with Mandiant into offering some kind of insurance. And they will, from what little I could get from this very incomplete description, they're going to do what you'd hope an insurance company would do and require you to improve the security of your website in order to get cheaper rates, which might be a progress, might lead to progress. So we'll see what comes of this. They're going to encourage these companies to adopt the best security standards, and then they can benefit from savings on their cyber insurance policy premiums. So that sounds really very helpful to me. Another thing something that often comes up in my classes is, what can we do to stop ransomware? And all the recommendations I find are very unclear and confusing and not simple just follow like the 10 best practices. So somebody having some program that would easily guide you into doing the best things and provide some insurance does sound kind of like a winner. Yes, apparently that's the case. I mean, every insurance company should do that. For example, I heard about, there's a huge burglary problem in San Francisco, and I read about a store in Chinatown, a jewelry store, that got robbed, and they stole all the jewelry, and they said, don't you have insurance? They said, yes, but our insurance would only cover us if all the items were in a safe when we closed. So in order to obey the insurance company rules, they were supposed to take everything out of the window and put it in a safe every night, and they didn't do that, so their insurance won't pay out. And this is something I hear it all my life, is that people are forced to do irritating security things in order to get cheaper insurance rates. So it seems to be a way to effectively educate people. So if they make good rules, then Cloudflare can say you can get our insurance, but you either have to pay a higher rate or you're not even eligible unless you fix these problems at your website first. That does sound like a winner to me. It's education and motivation and insurance coverage. So it might be a good deal if they do it right. So this is really crazy. If you pirate Microsoft Office, a bar will pop up inside your stolen Microsoft Office offering for you to get it for half price by paying for it, but only if you pirated it. So they have a special deal for pirates that's not available for regular customers. So that seems like so many, James Manchin, what is his name, Steve Manchin or something? Joe Manchin is always talking about how you can't give any welfare unless you have means testing. And whenever you have means testing for welfare, you tend to do this. You create a perverse incentive. I met people who are saying, well, I'm having medical treatment and I have to not get a job because if I had a job, they would cut my medical benefits. And it's the same kind of thing here. So apparently you need to go steal Office in order to get a discount. They've created a perverse incentive. Anyway, it's interesting to see. Well, that's true. I suppose it could be a honeypot too. That's another thought, yeah. All right, and so Evergrande has defaulted. China has been crushing their tech sector, getting rid of their billionaires, removing companies that wanted to become unicorns by going on the stock market. And I think they're doing all of this because they see this red-hot tech market with these ridiculous valuations as too dangerous, largely because of this. Evergrande is a real estate company in China, and it's huge, and they have gone broke, and they've now defaulted on their debt. And everyone's been seeing this coming for months, and this is going to cause some kind of big financial disaster in China. So they're trying, the answer, which is quite appropriate in the Chinese government, is to much more strictly regulate the action of these corporations. Yeah, that's right. That could be that they charge you. And what is this nonsense? Okay. Anyway, this is pretty impressive. They've been smashing and breaking into everybody's cars lately, but now they're breaking into cars with the people in there and stealing stuff. They're sitting in there, someone smashes the window and grabs the stuff and takes off. So they're getting outrageously bold, and we really need to do something about this. And so far, the government seems completely helpless to do anything. The stores are getting robbed, the people are getting robbed, the cars are getting robbed. Many stores are closing up and leaving because they just can't do business in San Francisco anymore. And, this happened in New York City about 25, 30 years ago, and they put in Rudolph Giuliani to just be like a brutal dictator, telling the cops to just do illegal, nasty, rude things to stop crime. And that's what will happen. If you don't fix the crime problem, the people will elect some kind of thuggish brute, like stop and frisk, right? Some guy will just march in with some brutal policy. This is how you get Republicans, And this is how you get nasty, brutal Republicans. If the Democrats just let crime grow and they don't do anything about it, sooner or later the people will get annoyed enough to put in somebody who just doesn't really care about civil rights or the law. You're just going to go around and bust heads until you stop the crime. Anyway, so as I guess everybody knows, you can't get a NVIDIA card if you want to play games, because it's all snapped up by people who want to mine cryptocurrency. So there is a guy here who figured out how to write bots to efficiently find these things as soon as they're for sale and snap them up, and there are other people buying them to resell them and stuff. And now he turned it into a full-time job. He started a company just to help people obtain video cards by having better bots than the other guys. So it's kind of insane. But that's where it is. He makes $100,000 a year, providing a service that will help people buy video cards by having bots that beat the other bots. So, and there's now like the first commercial quantum computing services out there. I don't know why you would need this. It's just a random number generator, apparently. But anyway, you can use Quantum Origin. Claims to use quantum computing to generate random numbers. So I'm not sure what exactly the point of it is, but it is the first product that supposedly is running quantum computing. And there's a question. Last night, students saying YouTube and voice assistants are listening to them. This is something I've heard for years. People think that something is listening to them. They usually blame their phone. They say, if I talked about something last night, the next day I see ads for it. That's what they say. When I heard people talk about it, the main thing they thought was listening to them was their cell phone. Now you've got these smart speakers in your home that are definitely listening to you. And the question is, are they allowed to listen to that stuff and record it and use it for ad tracking? And I don't really know if that's legal. It might be somewhere in the terms of service. It's certainly something that people feel bad about and would rather not have done. But as far as I know, I've heard this for years. Many, many people believe that this is happening. Your gadgets are listening to you and they're targeting ads from it. I've never heard anybody test it to see if it's true. Yeah, I don't think your computer, a normal computer running a normal operating system like Windows or the Mac, would be listening to you. I think it's mostly going to be a smart device, especially a smart voice-activated device, like if you have Alexa turned on or Siri turned on. Yes, that's someone has frequency illusion. Yeah, with a name, Brighter Meinhof. I don't know that term, but I was thinking it might just be a human psychological issue where you have something on your mind, so you talk about it, and then you notice the ads. That's why I'd like to see a controlled experiment where you really prove that if you talk about something, then you really see more ads about that. But it's this sort of paranoid feeling you get from like Brave New World. Maybe my TV is watching me. And, it's certainly technically possible. You can put malware on a phone that will turn on the microphone and record your stuff. That's one of the things the government-type malware does. It's absolutely possible that these devices have the microphone turned on and they're sending it to somebody who's doing something with it. It's just, I would think they couldn't do it just to target ads or they'd end up in legal trouble, but I'm not really sure about that. Cortana and Siri listen, yes they do, unless you disable them. So there's spidering tech that catalogs your searches. Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, anyway, that's the thing. It's not like it's unreasonable that this could be happening or impossible that it could be happening. It's just, I would think you get in a lot of legal trouble if you did that. But I've never seen any. It would be so easy to test, though, with just basic undergraduate level statistics. Just make a group of people, make them read a list of words, then watch to see what ads appear, then have another people that don't read those words or read different words and see what ads appear and go until you get some statistics. We could find out if this is happening. But I haven't done the test and I haven't seen anybody else do the test. Wouldn't you need a totally new device? Well, I don't know. You could test any kind of device. You could test somebody's phone in use. You could just, have them read 10 words near the phone and then see what happens the next day. And then not read the next list of 10 words into the phone and see if those ads appear, something like that. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to stop recording the news. I'm not going to present any new material today. I'm just here to answer questions.